Ready? There we go. Can everybody look up front? Hello, hello. Awesome. So great to see you all. Sorry I couldn't be here last week, but but it's great to see both all the students and so many of the mentors. Today, as you can see, we're down here on the first floor. This is Voltron, which is our biggest event space. Where we normally meet on the 8th floor is our Center for Defense Innovation. It's all government stuff up there. You can see the Army and all the flags and everything else. But obviously, we move around as needed. That's the great things of Capital Factory. Awesome to see so many people here, and I know there's a lot, even a few people this week I know are out with either the flu or COVID or something else. There's a lot of stuff going around. I know last week we had a couple people hit by that as well. So sorry it was a little slow last week, but I think we're looking like we're making up for it this week. So we had a great turnout this week, and really excited to kick it off. As a reminder of the class rules, if you're in here in the room, you should be either a student that's registered for the class, one of the employees of the class, or somebody that I invited. There's no other guests, please. So if you're not in that category, TAs are over here on the left. Raise your hands. You can talk to them, and they'll help figure it out. We will take attendance for the students at the end with the QR code. At least meet with both your mentors if they're here, but we got a bunch of guest mentors here for you to meet with as well. And everything here is confidential unless you hear otherwise. Like if they ask you to go tell everyone about it, then obviously you can go tell everybody about it. But they call that kind of Chatham House rules. You assume people are going to share stats or numbers or fears or concerns, and you want that all to be a safe place. All right, some quick reminders. Tangled up. There you go. All right. Me, Josh at Longhorn Startup. Actually, I should probably update that. I think my Capital Factory email is working better these days. But see, this email does work really well. TA@longhornstartup.com. That's a good place to start for anything. And both Amber and Everett check that. We do post on X, but everything official comes from Canvas. And I don't think we're using the Slack much either. All right, reminders. Anyone have any questions about the weekly updates? Does that feel okay? I'll get you guys some feedback this week on all the ones that came in. But we were supposed to change that. That's supposed to say one email per person. And so each person you're sending one email thread for the whole semester, right? And just as a reminder. And so the subject's really important. So you have to hit reply every time, because that way at the end of the semester, when I pull up the last email you sent, I can see all the emails you sent for the whole semester. And I'm going to read it like a book. I'm going to read it from the beginning to the end. So please do that. It really helps us for grading. Again, Canvas is where all messages and comms are coming from. And then I also want to put a bug in your ears as a reminder, because it's not that far away. It's just a little bit more than a month. If you want one, which I hope all of you do, we have a table for each of you at the Startup Crawl, which is going to be here at Capital Factory the first Friday that kicks off South by Southwest. Who's been to the Startup Crawl? Raise your hands. A bunch of you have been. It's super fun. There'll be thousands of people here. It's pretty much, I think it's sold out. There's 100 startups signed up. You can't get in anymore, but we saved you all a spot. And it's the biggest event at South by. It's a ton of exposure. There's not a bad stop. Every single spot on the Startup Crawl is a good place to be, where you'll meet lots of people, and lots of people come by and see what you're doing. And so we will give you the table. We need to get working on this, but we'll print a pop-up banner for you if you can get graphics and other stuff together for it. And then you're kind of in charge of what else you do with the table. So start thinking about what you want to do. Good rule of thumb is have a demo of some kind, either a computer screen or something, and give away free food. All right. So today is similar to last class. It should be this will be the first class with guest mentors. So this should be the first normal class. That was their welcome. mentors who come every week don't need to reintroduce themselves every time, but the guest mentors will introduce themselves, and we'll give you the playbook, but it's a quick intro. Then the companies will come up and do company updates. These are just time estimates. It doesn't have to be exactly this. This is one per company. So one person per team comes up and gives their company update. We'll also give you, Cliff Notes for that. But basically, what did you get done last week? What are your goals for this week? And what are your asks of the group? And then we roll into office hours. Each team's at a different table. If we should look for the signs if we have them, the table signs. So hopefully we'll have little numbers on them that'll make it easier to find them. But we also will help direct people, the TAs and I. And it's a little chaotic, but it's awesome. There's no timer or time limit. We don't ring a bell and tell you when to move. But the lead mentors should go to each of their teams and meet with each of their teams. And the guest mentors typically meet with 4 or 5 companies each while they're here. So this week's guest mentors, I'm going to let introduce themselves in just a second. But am I missing anybody that is here as a guest mentor? I see Gordon and Lawton and Kevin. Oh, there's another slide, and Neelan. Okay, so we have a full slate of guest mentors, and they're going to all come up and introduce themselves. Actually, Laith is not feeling well, so he's not going to be here today, but I think he'll be here in 2 weeks. So really, really great group of people. I can't wait for you to hear who they are and their backgrounds. These are all people you want to talk to that can really help you. And then after they introduce themselves, I'll real quickly talk about who's coming next week. So let's start. Oh, well, okay. Remember your order here. Andy, Brett, Monica, and then Lawton, Ganesh, Gordon, and Neelan. And here's your Cliff Notes of what to say when you come up. So, Gordon, who did I say was first? No, I can't even remember. Who did I call first? Andy. You're right up here. So, Andy, you go first. You've done this before, so set a good example.
Sure. Hey guys, Andy Truba. I realize that I need to provide a different photo because I'm a lot older than that photo, but all good. So honored to be here. I love this class that Josh does, and I love all the excitement around the room. So I call myself a recovering entrepreneur because I love entrepreneurs, and I've done 5 companies, but I've since run out of good ideas. So now I just buy companies and try to make them a little bit better. So the startups that I've done, and I guess I have experiences in the medical startup side, was kind of my first company. I've done a rideshare in town here called Ride Austin that you guys might actually be too young to remember, ironically. Some of you guys might remember that. I've done marketplaces, on work, and now I do largely enterprise software where I buy those companies and kind of try to make them a little bit better. So let's see, why was I invited here? Josh is a longtime friend, and again, I'm a huge fan of this class as a whole. So again, whatever topics you guys want to talk about, from either any of the experiences that I've had to the enterprise software side of the world, I can help with all those. So I can't promise to give you good advice, but it'll be advice nonetheless. So thanks for everyone. Also, the Lean Canvas stuff that you guys have done has been awesome. So I read through those, and those were really, really great. So I definitely recommend if we do have a conversation to kind of lead with that. So who am I handed to next?
All right, we clap like this. One big clap. Everybody, ready? Together.
Hello, my name is Brett Paulson. I've spent time in your seats a long time ago. Got an electrical computer engineering degree. Oh, yeah. Yes. And the computer science building wasn't built. It was a very old place called Painter. And shortly after graduation, I was a semiconductor guy. I moved out to Silicon Valley, got my MBA out there, started a few companies, sold them, came back to Austin about 10 years ago. And since I've been helping turn around companies. So I've been working for venture capitalists along with companies and doing turnaround work, mostly in enterprise software. I just did a 2-year stint doing private equity at an enterprise software firm out of LA. I just recently stepped down. I guess LinkedIn says I'm open for work. So I can help you be your EA. I can help you schedule meetings, whatever you like. But why am I invited? I guess, for me, I've spent years and years now being an entrepreneur, helping companies. I'm very technical still, but have spent a lot of time in enterprise sales. And what can you help with? So I think for me, a lot of the stuff I've been working on over the last 4 years is really just product market fit, along with, how do you go prove that and then go raise money, since I've been on both sides of investing and also on the company side of things. So that's me. And Monica and I used to fly and plane together all the time.
Exactly.
With audio, yeah. So we fooled everybody, and they were like, "How are you connecting?" And we didn't tell anybody that it was through audio. I still have to. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I met Brett when I was just starting this startup, and he was advising me on my startup. So you've got lots of great advisors here today. My name is Monica Landers. I founded a company called StoryFit. We work with large studios and networks and streamers. We work with them in early pre-development script stage to predict who the audience is. So usually they don't get data until they've spent $20, $40 million. And we give them that same data before they've spent anything. So we're just working, kind of bringing data, thanks to AI, much sooner in the process. I am here because Josh. I'm well integrated into Cap Factory, and I'm such a fan. Gordon's on my board. I think this is just such a great place and group of people for both the support and the launch pad. So I'm just a huge fan of this organization, everything that Josh does. I can help you with. Certainly, like questions about fundraising. I think I've raised money every year for the last 9 years. And so I can talk about that. I worked in television a long time, so a lot of communications, and have run R&D in various content type companies, so content communication, and worked B2B, B2C, and SaaS. So I can happy to talk through any of those types of issues. Thank you. And hello. Hi, Monica. Good to see you.
I'm Lawton Cummings, and it's a pleasure to meet all of you. Love this class and love seeing everything that comes out of it. I'm general partner here at Capital Factory, so that means I'm primarily working with the funds side. So before I went into venture capital, I was an attorney, and well, I'm still an attorney. Got really interested in AI. Exactly, still an attorney. So became really interested in artificial intelligence and how the complex regulatory frameworks were going to need to change. Started advising companies, investing, angel investing, and then went into professional investing. Was partner at another venture capital firm, and now here at Capital Factory. I was invited here because this is what I do, and I'm excited to be helping out with you guys. And what can I help you with? I love helping with the early stages, like the pitch. How do you get funded? How do you talk about your startup? A lot of it is storytelling, trying to make a connection with the problem and how you're going to fix it. And anything else that might be, especially in the AI realm. Thanks.
Hey guys, I'm Ganesh Padmanabhan, founder CEO of Autonomize AI. We are transforming regulated industries, starting with healthcare with generative AI. So my background is I've been at Capital Factory in various fashion as portfolio company, as mentor, as partner. I'm in a lot of different ways. Prior to this company, I co-founded a company called Molecular, which is now called FeatureBase, also a Capital Factory portfolio company. Prior to that, I was part of an enterprise AI company that bought my company. It was early days and stuff. So prior to that, long career at Dell and Intel, was an operator, ran a billion-dollar business and learned all of that, and then realized that this is more fun than that. So I'm excited to be here. Thank you for inviting me, Josh. Why was I invited here? I don't know. I got to ask that question to Josh. Why the hell am I here when I see all these people here? And so I guess because he just likes Autonomize and me, right? So what can I help you with? I think most of my life I've sold to B2B companies, B2B enterprise software, AI, data-related businesses, and so forth. I think the skill set I probably stack up is around running organizations at scale, but also starting, really new, highly risky things that often doesn't work out. Excited to be here, and ask me about anything that I can help you with. I am not a good therapist, except that, everything else. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Gordon Doherty. I'm a co-founder of Capital Factory, currently serve as chairman. Before that, I had a 28-year career in tech. All of it was B2B, focused on very large enterprises, so big ticket software and hardware to large enterprises. I'm here because after joining with Josh 12 years ago, he and I had made more than 500 investments together as venture capitalists. I've advised and mentored thousands of startups, graduated more than 5,000 through a boot camp that I run called Founders Academy. And I'm the author of a book that's on your suggested reading list, a best-selling book on fundraising. And I brought copies here to give one to each team, and that's something I could talk to you about. I'd love to geek out on fundraising with you. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Neelan Choksi, and I'm going to answer why I'm here, because when Josh sends an email, I respond. I've apparently responded as a lead mentor, and now I've responded as a guest mentor, so God knows who I am and what I'm doing. My history is I was actually a chemical engineer undergrad, and then I've done startups. I went to business school at 28, and I've done startups ever since. Generally, they've been around developer productivity. So I've built a lot of software tools that have, well, I haven't. My companies have built a lot of software tools that make developers more productive, or in large organizations, make the process of building software much more effective. I've had a bunch of exits. Half the time I've raised money, half the time I've bootstrapped. And right now I am, like a lot of y'all, just kind of hanging out and not putting a label on what I'm doing yet. So what can I help you with? I can help you talk about how to pass the time. I can talk about kind of that decision between bootstrapping and fundraising. I can talk about early days. I can talk about challenges between founders. I can talk about exits. So kind of the entire gamut. I've always been more go-to-market than technical. So though I kind of go 2 levels deep technical, and then I stop parroting my technical people. So.
I think you're right, you're wrong. I think you actually are a lead mentor, but you couldn't come the first week, and so we just started using bootstrap there. So
Cool.
we'll sort that out here. But
Yeah.
everyone else introduced themselves last week, so you're still good. We have one more, which was on the slide, which is Steve. So Steve, come on up and give us your first intro. You know the drill.
Hey.
Hey,
I'm Steve Glickman, another friend of Josh's. There's many, many of us around the city, although few will admit it in public, so I might. The people who do, they come here. Yeah, sure. Make sure there's proof of it. I've been in Austin only a couple years now, spent a long career in DC as a lawyer and a prosecutor, congressional staffer, a White House staffer. And then I've been doing entrepreneurship for the past 10 years, first around public policy. I founded a think tank with Sean Parker, one of the Facebook founders that created an investment program called Opportunity Zones. Then I did some stuff in the investment side with private equity and venture firms. Then I founded a private equity firm. And then I got invited with my partners at the private equity firm, so I could talk to you about dispute resolution. That's something you guys want to know. A company that I started got bought by a fintech and a climate change focused company out of LA. And then most recently, I'm doing the most tech-focused thing I've done, which is I founded a few years ago an AI ML powered company focused on big data in the policy and tech space. So we're venture-backed, fairly early stage, work very closely with Microsoft and OpenAI. So I think I can talk to you about the early days of entrepreneurship, and I think I'm pretty good on the strategy side for other people's businesses. When it comes to my own business, huge problems. But in terms of giving other people advice, it's really, really great at it. And if you follow my advice, you'll be marginally successful, which is what I'm shooting for. Josh, thanks for having me, and really excited to spend time with you guys.
Awesome. Oh, You got the clap for me. Thank you. All right, so I hope you can see it's an incredible group we have lined up for you today, in addition to all of the amazing lead mentors. And as I always say every week, and I will say every week, just thank you so much to all of the mentors, the guest mentors, and especially the lead mentors who come here every week. All of you have lots of other things you could be doing, families, other job commitments, other places and things pulling at you. And it really means a lot for you to come spend this time with us. So thank you for coming here. All right, next up, I'm going to quickly tell you who's coming next week. I'm sure there'll be more to come, but two of the people coming: Marcus Carey, who is the founder, is a cybersecurity expert here in town, multiple-time founder, multiple exits, and then Ian Clark, who is particularly like a super technical artificial intelligence expert from way back before it was cool, and also helped. He also created one of the first kind of anti-censorship privacy networks before like blockchain and peer-to-peer called Freenet. So really awesome entrepreneur. He's been a consultant to like dating sites and other people that want to do their matching algorithms. And I'm sure he's got a lot to say about what's going on now. So other great ones coming. All right, time for the company updates. And so as a reminder, we're going to do each company rapid fire. If you don't mind, it'd be great to have everyone who's going to be presenting just line up, so then it just goes really fast. And so you're going to get one person per company is going to come up, introduce yourself, especially for the guest mentors. Give your quick 2-sentence elevator pitch. This is not the long one, but here's what we do. Talk about, because they all have your profiles to look at as well. Talk about what you accomplished since last class, what your goals are as a team for next class, and anything that you need help with or asks people you need to meet that you're going to ask of the whole group. Okay? Can we have everybody come line up? We should have about 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Wow. All right.
Hey guys, my name is Everett Gray. I'm working on a company called Rhizomycology. My co-founder is also here. So we help people grow mushrooms at home, and we're creating a device that controls fruiting conditions so that people can grow mushrooms in a container on their countertop. So last week we were working on our prototype more, and we met with our mentors outside of even this class. We went to the startup crawl, the Cup of Capital, and that was awesome. Met a lot of people, and one of the big things we did is we met up with Amar, who is a mentor here, or he's a portfolio company here, who created Mod Garden. And the reason that's important for us is because he's gone through a lot of the same trials that we have, or that we're planning on going through, and we can gain a lot of advice from him. We also were working on our prototype. We've completed our 3D design, which we submitted to be 3D printed, and that's going to be the prototype that will be on display at the Startup Crawl and at Startup City Limits. For next week, we definitely want to get those prints and then assemble it fully, and we're creating a pitch deck right now. So that's one thing we could use help with, is the story, the vision, just kind of cinching that stuff down, getting it all solid. And then if any of you guys know people who are interested in mushrooms, mushroom cultivation, or anything just in that world, then that's another thing that we would love to connect over, because we're also building a list of beta testers right now. Thanks, guys.
Hi everyone, I'm Sahana with the Energy Umbrella, and we're building a foldable and ergonomic solar energy system that delivers affordable and reliable power to Indian families during frequent power outages. So in the last week, we applied to the seed pitch competition. We also scheduled a meeting with our Energy Institute professors so we can get more outreach on campus and feedback on our idea. We also scheduled a meeting with some legal professionals to talk about patenting and incorporation. And we're working on fixing our go-to-market strategy after meeting with some mentors last week. This week, we're planning on purchasing materials for our working prototypes and also contacting Indian nonprofits so that we can schedule more interviews in the future. And we're also continuing outreach with our technical team members to expand our team. For help that we need, we want to talk about go-to-market strategy with a lot of our mentors. It's something that we're looking into, and also reaching out to engineering organizations on campus. So if anyone has any contacts, we would appreciate it. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Tony Sum from EcoPaper, and our company utilizes our provisional technology to build tear-proof paper that is 10 times cheaper than the ones available out here right now. Moreover, our paper has the additional benefit of being paper cut proof and reducing printer jams. Last week, we have been emailing a lot of different entities, such as elementary schools, who might want tear-proof and paper cut proof paper for their students, law firms who might want a really high-grade paper for their clients, and also big companies who might want a good paper to print their meeting notes on. We are going to email more companies next week and also start polling individuals. We have come up with several separate questionnaires for different entities, and we plan to bulk send them out next week. Currently, we are working on fine-tuning our provisional patent, and would love to talk with someone who has experience in that and get some advice. Moreover, we are always seeking collaboration opportunities with people who would like a better type of paper that is tear-proof and also much lower cost than a tear-proof paper available right now. Thank you for listening.
Hey everyone, I'm Logan with Raindrop Jobs. Basically what we do is we take people who are applying to internships, and through a Gmail plugin, we automatically track who they're applying to and how far they're going in the process. And then we can use that data to basically say, hey, you should apply to these companies, you'll do well there. And we can tell companies, hey, these are applicants you should focus on because they're going to spend a good time, or because they're going to be successful in the process. So this last week was mostly focused on getting our site ready for users. And so that consisted of a lot of just testing on our end, kind of just reestablishing our framework, getting it test ready. That way we can push it to users. Additionally, we began to reach out to different companies to start to ask them kind of how internship process works, kind of see where the money is in this. For this next week, we plan to finish making our site ready for users, so that way we can start getting first batch of users, getting feedback and all that stuff. Additionally, we're going to keep sending out emails to companies, meeting with them, the campus recruiters, and figuring out what information they need, how we can make their life easier, and kind of just what value we're providing to companies. For kind of what would be helpful for us, first off is just kind of rehashing the best way to conduct like an interview structure with these companies, making sure we're extracting the most information we can out of them so that we can adjust accordingly. Second thing is just getting our first batch of users. That way we can get feedback and iterate. Thank you all.
Hi everyone, I am Nihar Rao and I am working on an application called Suits, which allows people to join, create, and monitor class action lawsuits and product recalls. So what did we accomplish last week? So we were given the very fortunate opportunity of working with Texas Venture Labs and Texas Convergent Forge. We were able to get into their help system. So what they do is they provide graduate students and other people in their field with a certain number of hours, and they can help us with whatever we need help with. So mostly we're working with them for developing and for market strategy. So that's the main thing we accomplished last week. We also applied to the RICE pitch competition, which was a huge step for us, and we were able, hopefully that goes out really well. We also started working with our EIN and applying for an LLC, so that's always exciting. So what we're trying to accomplish next week is we have a list of lawyers and we're working on contacting them because one of our main strategies is to start creating our own class action lawsuits and providing that class for them. And then we're also working more with Texas Venture Labs because we need help with, or we're creating a developer application, like a whole documentation list so we can help them get onboarded as quickly as possible and start working on more of our features that we really want to prioritize. So what do we need help with and who do we need to meet? One, we're starting our social media main campaign, so we're reaching out on TikTok and also Instagram. So any help with working with social media and the best way to market, the best way to reach out to get the most users. That's really, really appreciated. And also more connections with law and law in general, as we always are like, our whole company is basically law-based. So learning about their pain points and what they could use help with, especially when it comes to class action lawsuits, is deeply, deeply appreciated. So if you have any experience with that, that would be amazing. Alrighty, thank you so much.
Hi everyone, my name's Rishi, and the company that we're building is called Truffle. So we made a slight pivot into a different industry. So originally we were building AI models in fashion tech. Now we're in ed tech, but we're still using a lot of the same models. And so our new company is building a data platform for teachers to help monitor and track individual student as well as class performance. So in this past week, we've sort of navigated to this new industry. We met with one of our mentors outside of class. We started building our MVP, and we also reached out to and conducted around 7 customer surveys with teachers and principals. And in this next week, we're hoping to continue our customer calls, continue building out our MVP, as well as just honing the product and seeing, where this goes. And so in terms of what we need help with, we love to meet any people you may know in the education industry, from teachers to principals and superintendents. Also just sort of navigating how to conduct customer surveys. Any help you could provide on that would be really grateful. Thanks.
Hey guys, I'm Dev, and the company that I'm working on is called Thrive Education. Thrive Education is a diabetes education platform that aims to provide reliable education to patients while reducing costs for them. And what we accomplished last week was, on the business side, we got accepted into Texas Momentum. It's basically an org which gives us interns to work with us for the semester. So we had a kickoff, we met our interns, and we found out what they are all interested in. And more like another thing that we had is we had talks with Privia, an accountable care organization, for a potential partnership. Another thing is also we are also in talks with a private equity firm, so we are currently in talks for potential investment. And on the tech side, what we accomplished was we converted our entire code base to TypeScript from JavaScript. We also started creating a backend infrastructure for handling data and getting data and how to analyze it. And what we're going to work on this week is, first we're going to get our interns onboarded so that way they can start working. We're going to give them their first initial task, and then we're also going to finalize their tasks for the rest of the semester. And one more, and we are also going to move all of our code to a mono repository so it can be better managed. And on the business side, we are going to work on getting valuation for our company so that we can further our talks with the private equity investment. And what do we need help with? We do need help with figuring out the entire private equity space, because it's we're new to that. And yeah, just integrating AI into the app too, because that's one of the tasks that we're thinking of this semester. So if anyone has experience with that, that would be great too. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Kamil, and I'm with Plazas. So what our app does is we practically have a all-in-one platform for nonprofits and NGOs so that they can organize their communities and also gain donations without friction from multiple apps. And so last week, what we did was, after speaking with our mentors, we decided that we're going to delay our publishing a bit more and gain more feedback before we publish. So what we did is last week we met up with one of our other mentors outside of this program. He's a digital marketer, and he helped us with some of our next steps, and we kind of discussed where we should be going from now on with him. And also we set up meetings for this week with 2 big nonprofits in the Austin area and their organizers. So hopefully I will be meeting with them on Wednesday. And that kind of goes into what we'll be doing next week as well. And also on top of that, we've been working on adding more features to our final product. So our MVP is already complete, but we're still adding more features as we go on, and we will continue doing that this week, next week, and until we're finally done. And for what we need help with,
currently, if there's anybody here that could help us with kind of what feedback we should ask for from people and how to evaluate the feedback we get, that'll be really good for us. And lastly, we are also trying to open a LLC or a company, and like we kind of need some feedback on how to do that and which type of LLC or what we should do exactly on that matter. So yeah, thank you.
Hey everybody, I'm Aditya. I'm with Tuna, and we're a company that makes motion comics using AI. And motion comics are animated comics with audio, music, and animation. And so last week we worked on our current animation tool, which is a panel-to-panel animation, which we did some further improvements on. And we also worked on marketing our platform. And with that, like we built a tool for doing that marketing automatically on TikTok and Reddit. And we also went to like some in-person like anime clubs for advertising. And so next week we're planning, or we also worked on a prototype for our text-to-speech like tool for like voice acting the comic panels. And so next week our goal is to further improve that prototype and also ship out our current tool for panel-to-panel animation, which it was currently internal, but now we're making it available to anybody. And so the thing I would need help most with is how to find power users, the people who will like annoy us with their feedback on our platform. Yeah, thank you.
Hey everyone, I'm also Aditya. We're building Flush AI, which helps build developer tools for AI image generation. What we accomplished last week, we had like a recent pivot from another idea we were working on. So we released our current idea. We got like around a couple hundred stars on GitHub. What are we going to accomplish next week? Just building and shipping a lot of new features, a lot of new models. And what do you need help with? Who do you want to meet? We're really focused on trying to scale this product right now to as many developers as we can. So anyone who has worked with open source tech, scaling open source tech, would really appreciate any advice from them. Thank you.
Hey, I'm Pranav. I'm part of Fovio. Fovio is a food management app to help people use the groceries they buy, allowing them to waste less and save more. So last week, we mainly focused on app development, talking to users and talking to businesses for a potential B2B approach. And then we also focused on just building up our database with a bunch of information about a wide variety of foods. Let's see. Next week, we're going to be focusing on some more app development, just boosting our database, and then we want to start planning out our go-to-market strategy. So for stuff we need help with, people who are good with coming up with a go-to-market strategy, experience in monetization and marketing, that would be great.
Hi, my name's Philip from Bobo. We help roommates be better roommates by helping them with chore management. And last week, so we're launching soon. We're getting our app reviewed by the App Store and Google Play Store. And to prepare for our launch, we started tabling at Speedway selling fried potatoes and talking to users. So on top of making like a good amount of profit, we talked to a lot of users and got a lot of survey feedback. Yes. So by day, we fry potatoes, and by night, we code. Next week, we'll hopefully launch and actually start getting, we are doing a before and after user feedback survey. So we'll, in order to prove some of our hypotheses. And what we need help with is, if you're a UT student, come around Speedway to get some fried potatoes are really good, and download the app when we're launched. So like we invented this crazy product that's like a spiral like potato fry, and it's like a mix of a curly fry and like French fry, and it's like people come back for like seconds. It's really good. Thank you.
Take that too. All right. Awesome. That was a great job. You guys did really well for your like really I guess your second time doing those updates. I'm really impressed. They were prepared. You had good points to put in there. You all had asks, which is really good. This is like, that's how you're going to get stuff out of this, is by asking stuff of the group. Some things you can work on, just to pick on, the last one being an example. I talked about how many people they talked to. Like, we want numbers. Like, how many people did you talk to? Like, everything you say sounds a lot more credible with a number. So, like, we talked to lots of users. Okay. We talked to 422 users. Okay. Like, doesn't that just sound more, like, believable, meaningful, just because you put a number on it? And it's not like 400 users or about, like, being exact. Because when you say 422, I'm thinking they talked to 422. If you say 400, I'm like, yeah, they probably talked to 350. So being specific actually makes you sound more credible, more real. And through all of you, you're talking about like stars on GitHub, right? Like, tell us how many stars, what matters, and and what you're trying to go do. So as you give updates, as you talk about goals, and you put each one, think about like, what's a number I can put in this that I can measure or that makes it meaningful. But yeah, you guys did a really great job. So breakout tables. So now we're going to break out where each of you can meet with the different teams. It's a little chaotic, but it's awesome. We're doing great on time. We have until 6 o'clock, although we're not going to actually stop anybody. So these are all the teams. I don't think we have numbers, but every team does have a little flag, and then Amber and Everett and I can help direct you as well if you're ever not sure where to go, or if you're like, hey, I'm not sure who I should talk to next, or I'm looking for this startup, where are they, or anything like that. Like, we'll be around to help you go do that. But it really just becomes somewhat casual but very interactive thing where each table has a different startup at it, and there's usually one or two mentors there talking to them at any given time. And most of you have done this before. For those of you who haven't, I promise it's fun and it's easy. And that's really it. So any questions before we kick that off? This is Stormy. Yes, EY. All right, and she looks like a dog, doesn't she? I know, it's actually a robot. It looks so real, doesn't it? Okay, great. Well, awesome. Really glad to kick this off. And please feel free to grab pizza at startups. I think you're all at your tables. If you're a lead mentor, go to one of your company's tables. And if you're a guest mentor, come talk to me, Everett, or Amber, or just go to a table if you know where you want to go. Oh, one more thing from Everett. Sorry, real quick.
Okay, so I've talked to UT about the $1,000 grant. So all I need from each team is the one person who is going to receive the grant. So if you can go and send an email to the TA, just your name and your EID, and one member from each team. So send that to the TA email. Try and do it in like this class. Thank you.
just like in the grants. Because I'm paying, I signed up for my $50. And I would even thought of that. You know, I wish it, it's a really powerful community, but I've done it enough where I know how to make it my own footprint. But I would also look at more of the journey to your
Just by saying it out loud, you begin to feel like, or like, so I'd say with that cognition. But,
system is telling me. Like, it was kind of like vague. I have 5 minutes. Like, in my email, I can see what you jump. If I was in my email, I'd probably just not respond.
You can also like have your stage like, here's a product roadmap.
Oh, absolutely.
This, like we were talking about the first follow-up and these tools out, so we get this many users and expand.
So it's follow-up, and I also have notes. I mean, that the personal touch is important. Like, hey, you mentioned your daughter Julie was in volleyball last week. How did that go? And like, so it's just this like,
But none of these what's out there, so none of these are done
and I think that's why I was super successful at Noah, because I was not scared. And I'm an electrical computer engineer, like, oh my god, I gotta talk to these people. Sweating nervous. I'm glad they didn't see the other side. But that's where I think adding that value and letting students know too that job market is really okay. You don't want to maximize your success by being the communication network. Well, not really. Because even like that guy, pretty like the guy who's talking about his I think yeah, I'm on like he has like all my information like the way I have it I keep on like I make keep on updating them on like what I'm doing. No, so yeah, I think it's like at least like this is like a match made in heaven. Like,
But you should join because I feel like I can even talk to you. It's nice meeting you.
We can finish.
We're just moving into investors because had a couple more. This is so what really is exciting is that you're recognized already. Right, so you already have some credibility. Right, so that's
what are they recognized for?
He's recognized me. Okay. He has whatever YouTube videos and is recognized. This guy knows something more than the average person. And so, and I was just telling him, talk to these early investors. And then the one guy, what I was about to say is that one guy who's saying I have all these contacts, he also might be interested in like being an advisor. So you can kind of deal with that.
Are you guys building a virtual studio for building content?
Yeah. So it's go with the community, but like
actually, when you guys talk, are you on LinkedIn? Okay. Send me a note, but also consider you wanting to. I'm happy to introduce anybody that I'm connected to. It'd be more studios, not a lot of specific innovation, but eventually it will get to that. So. Sure.
But yeah, no, it's, we're building tools and the platform. And so the tools is like, so we're not really like an AI company. Like we're not like, we're not like training models from scratch. We're like, okay, like there's other companies they're already flying water. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We're doing the exact same thing. Are you specifically focused on anime as your
That's like we looked at like how much Western comics industry we're not like against somehow. I think the market size of manga and anime is actually like massive. Especially like countries on the and a lot of like if you actually look at like then you talk to them, there's like some like Ireland manga sites where people like are just illegally reading manga. So yeah, that's kind of focus right now. And so yeah, we're building the tools, but we're also building the platform. So like if you want to do you can use our tools to help make that.
You say better candidates.
And so I mean to me,
what do you mean by better?
So like the comment like maybe like algorithm, not like too much. And the reason like we're doing this is because I think a lot of the tools that we use like not really your like everyone's just
then you can like with this app you can just like read through your content. So yeah, so like rather like you could post it on YouTube, but our app provides like interactivity.
So this is basically you're just the source for this is either what are you generating this from scratch or you actually are you writing a script and putting it in there?
Yeah. So right now it's people who make like existing comics, and then you adapt them to this animated format.
And I think tell me what, so that's the tool for this particular comic. I think the core platform, you should be able to do this for, hey, I draw a picture, post it up there, you can turn it into an animation, it could be on comics, but it could be all kinds of stuff, pictures, videos, things like that.
Right now it's kind of I think all of us adapting it to
how would you gauge, how are you guys thinking about gauging
rather than like making one type of adapting to this, they just make one type. The problem is that like this one, it hasn't it's very niche. Like it exists on like YouTube, like people have like me, like people have made like these types of like videos and like people enjoy them. The problem is like it's still like difficult to make. Like it exists to this weird point where it's not a comic, it's not a full-on animation, it's somewhere in between. And so for like most actual like studios like Marvel trying to do that, but it's just like in such a weird way that like they might not put in the money to like do it.
I don't think you're gonna get that. That's gonna be very hard. But here's my sense, like artists themselves, is it studios, at least for
I think like or I guess like an ideal place to be where it would be like a studio like great comics. Like out there that was a really maybe like Marvel or something or like reality series. Because that would make it really easy. I see.
Software engineering.
Like we also do some raw independent creators which might not have a level or
the other thing about these things is also,
if you're Goldman, you're going to come in
creators and games recruiting.
what do you guys presumably if there's someone
They're trying to say, hey, use AI.
where I think
They'll get there.
is if you're talking to the students, they may not say anything about that. They may not know that that's got a really cool fintech platform they want to be a manager. And so you still have to work two sides of it. You still have to get paid by the company. What you can say is, hey, we've got to look at what are you looking to solve for next week? Obviously, we can't cover that.
We're working
Students who are active in these kind of roles in these companies, then you can give us a preferred lane. Get this application before they can make an argument to use students that they work with us, go through us, use our channel. We're not going to just send you to like some general company website. We've got a specific recruiter at this company. All they do is take raindrop candidates. All they do is take raindrop candidates and take a look at them because we're able to surface. We're able to give them more intel than just like we have. You have to do some level of like. But I think it seemed to me like very hard and somewhat like dangerous to say because of your existing candidate profile, we're going to be able to need a lot of stuff.
It's a lot better than it was 10 years ago.
We're going to do better ones. But I think what you can say is very right as far as candidates may not be taking away. Like software engineering feels like a great example. I don't know how many software engineers I know a lot of but they're probably thinking I want to
one guy I met, like he works at a company that has
value there. As long as you can demonstrate to the students that we've got it in with these companies, and no reason you would want to make the connection at all. Because the company will increasing success for you, the companies, and for the students. But have a good imagine like the New York Times way of like we just have to hire like one of the things right away. I was just thinking of that's what their machine learning
expand and just think like, what are things that people couldn't do that we can, right? Or outside of this 1,000 people creator and all this stuff, because I do think, you know, when you look at education and so forth, there's certain times when this is like what kids love. I mean, I used to read Mad Magazine and like growing up and stuff, and that was our thing. Like every week we'd read whatever we could, you know? But I think like, what is that bridge of like, are there things you can do that are valuable, but like you said, the studio, whoever, book producer, publisher doesn't know what to do. And it's the tool. I mean, it could be like all this AI, building AI, and that's what I actually believe. I believe in operationalizing AI and making it into the enterprise is way more fucking important than actual outcomes. Right? And that's where it's like, this thing is like, no publisher is going to go do this for it. I mean, it's just too hard. I think in adaptation to also like we're not like
the way I would start somewhere, the way I would think about starting something like this is going to be
just getting day training. I mean, it's like just use off the shelf stuff.
So I would say, hey, where can we help people who don't know that they want to do finance, like your top series, like you could afford to make an animation. I mean, I kind of like those series that like help if it's going to be software engineers, find great software engineering jobs.
Yeah, I think it's that's it, and then you have this.
I think that's kind of,
I mean, it's pretty easy.
I don't know.
And really for enterprises, people, I mean, it is tough because it's a brick building. How do you get in versus like BC? But at the end of the day, they just want something simple. So if you come in here with something very complex, they're not going to care. But if you come here and just that's the easy pitch, like you want something in the middle, here, boom, this is how. I would just think of like that's what you guys should be.
We try to very heading standard down here.
By the way, no cost to you. Cost is just the cost of action of the $100.
And you can probably take one of their current comics and make like one and then you're saying, here, this is what we can do, and boom.
You guys can use a great engineering
Hey everyone. If you haven't switched to your other company or haven't talked to a different group, please switch so everyone gets your time. Thank you.
I think yeah. I still think it's useful because like if this is really like built like if you have like the reading experience like user interface and stuff, it might not have the background to give.
Oh, you're right. You're right. So where are you finding them right now?
So right now we're using like okay, basically right now we're like adapting like series that like already have really good canvases. So just like these people are like coming each week for like new chapters. And like one of the places that we noticed that they like do this is like Reddit. So like each week they'll like post the new chapter on Reddit and they'll be like talking about it.
You're right. That might not be the right answer. I don't know. Keep going. 'Cause I'm sure this was something else.
Yeah, I think like I mean, this is really useful in the sense that like okay, like you also just want to get feedback from like is it like because like those users that come from Reddit, like one issue that we have is like okay, like maybe one someone like might not like figure out how to like go onto the thing. Or like so like confusing or something like that. Maybe these guys
Maybe.
I've only talked to the guest
So that's awesome. Who are your mentors?
Actually, I haven't talked to like William, but yeah, like Arda and Jake are like
So that's awesome. What is the basis of your tool as far as what are you building?
Like the AI, like one thing that we're using is like we're using a few different like bases. So like one of them is the model from Facebook called Segment Anything. And the way it works is that like okay, like if I have a person, it'll automatically like put out the different parts of that person, and then you can animate like those different parts and like do like stuff and things like that. And then we also have another model that fills in the background. Like once that fish moves, whatever was in the background will get filled in. Yeah, so that's awesome. And that's stable too. Just like similar to making
So how are you going to make your app something? How is it distinguished from something that someone can already do?
Yeah, so our app is kind of like so we're building like a tool it was like trying to like use it as a like basically one of the most they can use our tools and push it on out. And so right now like the biggest competitor is just kind of like web tools. They're like a pretty large company in Korea spends a lot of time and like that's kind of like the industry standard for like how to make a website like all post our website. But like the main difference is that like on WebTube it's not going to be animated. Like you can't. They have like some way of adding like music, but like they can't do like voice acting. You can't do like animation. So yeah, right now that's sort of differentiated.
So we would see what you're getting at. I mean, it sounds really fascinating. Who would be your ultimate like acquirer?
Yeah, I think like honestly like whenever like it's really like good for example like so we're kind of like this is B2C. So this is like we're looking at guys we're selling to like the like users who are basically but at the same time like one situation is like user.
Do you mind if I cut in?
Yeah.
Or just join you guys?
Yes.
I wasn't here last week, so I'm sorry about that.
So are you the
I'm one of their
permanent mentor?
or whatever. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, like I was just saying like okay like our company we're building tools and a lot of platform for and so like we're kind of B2C in the sense that like we're trying to get people to use social comics on this platform. But at the same time like you eventually want to get to the point where we're approaching like studios or like publishers that publish like normal comics and then like basically for the series like there's top performing series like Iron Man or something like that will get like a full on audience to like get an audience already. But like for smaller series where like
subset of anime or manga, or a subset of manga that's turned into anime. Is that the correct terminology?
And then there's another company called Web2. I remember where they had like 2 or 3 billion
I mean, I'm familiar with manga, of course, but I was just trying to kind of convert the static comics into that would be like that's really the market that I was referring to.
Oh yeah. So you're creating it.
I mean, we've been competing with them on your kind of videos, but not really because, like, I think we're kind of like I think we are competing with them in the sense of like, okay, like the people who would want this to like voice acting, music, animation, like they might not have read the manga, otherwise they might think this is me. I think like those are the people that find out.
Okay, wait.
So like if I'm like an animation, maybe like a scenario.
Yeah, tell me a scenario.
If I'm like a fan of and I watch like 2 seasons, I'm waiting for the 3rd season. But like the entire time, I was reading it. I like reading it. But then like the comics that have all the really voice acting, there's a lot of cool experience as well. Whereas with like anime, it's like those type of people, I think are like the
For fan fiction, those are people who use something that they don't own to create something.
Like I feel like the people who like really like they can't get over the hurdle of just reading a normal comic. Like the people who like are fans of anime, but they're not able to cross the boundary into manga. So I guess like we're not really competing against like normal like manga readers. Like normal manga readers probably are fine with reading the manga anyway. But like those like anime fans who like really enjoy those aspects of anime, I think is what we're looking for.
So are you then going to your user be the content creator of the animation comic? Or no, they're more fans of it?
They're more of like we hope to like the ideal situation is that we're like working with that company that made that comic and we can make it like so the user is like the person who's reading that comic. So in terms of how do we make money, it's like okay, it's kind of like a Netflix where like okay, you can subscribe to the series, you can like episodes or
So I personally, I started watching the TV show Invincible. This is a show based off of a comic, and they just aren't releasing the episodes. So I actually went and bought the comics because I was like intrigued by the story and I didn't want it to stop, whatever. So this is like actually something that I would probably be using. Yeah, like Attack on Titan, I didn't finish it. I didn't want to read the manga because I knew that was like a big commitment. But I was like through most of the seasons, and I just needed to kind of like see the final part. So something like that would appeal to me.
But what if the initial creator of that series owns the right to those comics? They would see this as a competition episode that's coming out, right?
I think like that example is like, or just kind of like to illustrate the point that like okay, like that's kind of the subset of like users where like okay, people who don't want necessarily to read the manga, but they're like subset of users who want animation, music, and voice acting in the series. So that scenario, Marvel wouldn't actually do for like that would be like a competition against like their future animation.
Do you just do this for fan fiction? Or could you do this for the original source material?
Yeah, so we would do it for the original source material, but it wouldn't be for a source material that has like an so like I think like the main like kind of point is like okay, for those manga that like the company doesn't know like oh is this going to be successful or not, like instead of making it for an anime like they can make it for and that way like you have like animation and music and sound effects and that like audience is control so like when
just like that story of like problem, size of the problem, solution is super clear with the plus, in order to have the consumer piece, you've got to get the B2B piece up and running. So I would say at this stage, that's where I would focus personally.
I think like, yeah, I think we still have like work to do in the sense that like we still have to put in develop our tool like to the point where it is like easy enough for
What is it now? What is it now?
So I can show you. Okay, so this is I don't know if you saw this, but it was this is how like you add sort of like automation, right? Or still like a simplified
That's super cool, man. That's way better than reading.
Yeah, that's awesome. So are you saying you have to like click on that image and do like walk, so an individual user needs to tell it to do that?
It's not like when you like you want to get to that point where it's like
It'll take the base image and then assume based on the panels before and after what's going on.
And also, I mean, if you integrate it with like a large language model that will know.
And generate the voice on the fly. Is this 11 labs? So I guess my question is, what's the B2B product? Is it like it looks kind of like a Photoshop type deal where you can like kind of maybe type prompts and tweak it? Well, what did you use to build this? What does that look like?
So like the way we're doing it is we're not building like a Photoshop, we're just building plugins for Photoshop to do like
Got it. So you open up Photoshop, you install this plugin, you upload the raw manga, and then you run the plugin and it does this piece.
So it'll like the way the menu is like cuts out like the different parts of the image, and then
That is super cool. That's a really great one.
Yeah, and it'll get like once you add layers in, you'll make it more animated and you can treat it.
When you say public, do you mean like an open source repository with code, or do you mean like a plugin that's open to download the plugin store? But then you don't have a business.
Plugin would be free, but like, okay, like if you do want to we're not gonna give the code to you. Like, initially it'll just be free, but maybe you can start charging for that.
Once it gets better, like there's like a premium model where it's free at first. Okay, so this is different from the B2B. This is a tool that
or I guess like our tool like I want it to be like free. Like we're like this is like our money is coming from either the business or like for having a platform from like on a platform and like advertising tracking something else on the platform. Ideally like the tool is not making us money. But like if it like actually like this is really valuable, then maybe we'll do that premium.
So your vision for this is that people that are already excited about mangas will download your plugin, use it to animate the manga, and then post that on your consumer-facing site, which will be the technology that can allow you to turn your entire library of all these mangas into an animated version with minimal human effort and time. I need a partner. I need somebody that's willing to give me feedback on the product and help me build it, right? So I want you to give me an hour of your time each week. In exchange, I'll give you free or like highly discounted access to this tool, and you tell me how to tweak it and grow it and improve it, right? If you're able to do that with one publisher, now you can go to any other publisher and actually sell them that tool. And that creates like, now you've got an enterprise software, right? And ultimately, what you want to get is you sell these publishers this tool, and then you own the distribution platform that will get it in front of potential readers. Yeah.
And that's how you get those power users.
Yes. Yeah. So that's what was in the back of my mind. It's like you have two types of power users. One is going to be these publishers. The way to approach them is to position it as a design partnership, because then you're not saying, "Hey, buy my software." Because they're like, "Who are you? Like, why do I trust you?" Whatever. It's like, "Hey, I need your help to build this software. It's going to increase your bottom line. All I need from you is your time and your feedback." Like, that's a no-brainer. Why would they not use it?
I think
That's the beauty of the design partnership. You can be very upfront where you're like, "Hey, this is 20% done. I want you to help me get it to 80% done. And what I really need from you is I need to understand how you want to use this and where the workflows make sense if you're going to go this route, right? Right now, it's only 20% done. But, like, that 20% is already saving you dozens of hours each week, right? Look at this prototype. I did this in 10 hours. It would have taken you 100 if you hadn't used it. Yeah, and like, again, you're not charging them very much money. You're not asking for anything really other than their time. And you can be very upfront where you're like, "Hey, this is not a done product. I need your help to make it a done product," right? And you can help shape what this looks like. And this could like totally reshape your industry. You can sell a really compelling story that way. And especially if you can tie in this idea of like raising their bottom line. Be like, how many comics do you have that have a dedicated fan base of at least 50,000 readers, but that don't meaningfully drive revenue, that aren't profitable, right? There's probably like 20 of them, because media follows a power law, right? And then you're like, what if you could take those 50,000 committed readers to all these properties and turn them into, or double the revenue that you generate from them?
we're just like doing like a bunch of new series as we like build up the tech.
Well, so there's Mongo communities online, right? And certainly like Reddit, people posting things out, or like even like, you know, just going up to Kinokuniya, right? They sell like all the manga there, right? Being Alexi was like pulling out the freaking manga, right?
Set up an iPad, and just have people walk by and interact.
Yeah, that's how we that slide idea is a great idea. But I do, yeah.
We did like, we went to the anime club. We're doing like a panel at like anime convention in San Francisco. And yeah, I think that's a good idea.
There's passion in the community, and like, I try to get my dog but they're at least they're reading the manual, so like I'm actually okay. Right. Totally right. So, but no, it's an awesome niche community, but like, you know, so I would say continue working on the tech, but then also get some at some point. Maybe hang out there, because you're sort of like feedback, but at some point you gotta be like,
I kind of always got to like, I used to do like YouTube videos where I was like making content, and I just like discovered like, oh shit, like I can like make those to like animate it, and then like I'm trying to figure out now like I could actually like turn this into like a video.
It's all about what problem you're solving. Are you solving the problem that manga is not engaging enough for manga enthusiasts? Developing this is too hard for resource constrained publishers. That's the business model, because that's who pays you.
Awesome. Okay, man.
Yay.
Good luck.
Nice.
All right, guys.
Any kind.
That was fun.
That was fun.
kind of just plan out in advance the structure we're doing. Where it happens less like without anything.
Exactly. You can always stop, like hide it. But and when you collect, just don't collect just text boxes where someone types something in, because then it's not clean. Like have drop downs so if it's like hourly, so that you have really clean data. Because if people type in and they put a number or they use dollars and pounds or then you have a mess that you can't then work with later. And so anything you can do that has drop down. So any questions you can make very specific, paid or unpaid, that's what you do. But it's like,
I raced last year. We're probably going to go to a Series A this year.
what department are they going to be in when you drop down? Whereas if you leave it open, then someone might say sales and marketing, and someone else might say marketing, and someone else might say communications. Well, are those the same or not? And you don't know. You have no way to then measure that data. But if you have drop downs and they have to pick marketing, sales, communications, you're going to have to pick data later.
Yeah, that's really good advice.
Yeah, actually, right now, I already can tell something. Right now, we're having long just out of convenience. We want to go broader, so whatever Xbox.
Oh, that's UT or is it University of Tennessee?
And I just kind of assumed that they were all going to be UT, and I didn't want to find a database of like just 10,000. So, I guess I could.
Well, yeah, we can make our list of if you think that all of them are going to be UT or they're all going to be UT, St. Texas State, or something like that. You could just write those and then other to start with.
And then start noticing when it goes, yeah.
And then add that.
Yeah, if other crosses a 5% threshold, then start adding more.
Email was there in the.
I mean,
I thought you were one of them.
because if you don't, it's sort of like what you just know you'll never be able to use the data if you don't. That's sort of it. And so sure, is it fine for 10 or 100? Sure, but you literally will never use that data. And then the other thing I see is this the back end, when the back end's not right, and this is engineers yelling at me about like hold off, we have to get this right because when you build on top of the data and the structure that you choose, like all the stuff matters. Now, you should assume you're going to rebuild, like if you're wildly successful, you'll rebuild in 3 years anyway. That's fine. But you don't want to rebuild in 6 months. Like you still want to get it like as wide as you can, and then you'll learn. And eventually, if you do well, you'll rebuild, and that's fine. But you don't want to not have gotten information you need and then not have the money to rebuild because you've already gotten so much invested in this. So some of that, like, are you doing like Python in the back? Like, what do you
We're actually using Node.js.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, we're using like serverless and Firebase right now. Actually, one thing we kind of want to do eventually is have an actual server on the serverless and do deeper things.
Yeah. Because right now, if the server's not connected,
yeah, it's like a cold start.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cold it is. Yeah.
Especially when you have to.
No, marketplaces are so hard. There's nothing harder. So just know, like, it's hard. It's business-wise really challenging for market fit. But if you just pick who you really think is going to need you the most, and I think it's got to be the students. And maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, but that's yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we both picked. I thought the companies would be harder. And he said
It's like the classic question: who's your customer? Is it the student? Is it this side or that side?
One marketplace I did was like, I won't name which group, but one of the groups was like so hard to work with. They just sucked. I mean, so much of the time, the problems, and it was unequal. And then the other group was spending way more money, and so I'm like, yeah, I'm building for this guys. Like I'm not charging you. You can't complain anymore. You're just paying the bills anyways. I'm building for these. So, but it's not what I thought going into either. So, yeah. So you'll see.
Find out.
Well, good luck.
Yeah.
Feel free to connect. Probably LinkedIn's the best, and just send me a note of who you are because I ignore a lot of it. But if I can help, I'm happy to.
Which company do you look for?
So if you type in Monica Landers and then type in StoryFit, you'll find me.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, it's great. Nice meeting you too. Glad you're able to walk through it. I can hear the clear. You're clear. That's the yes.
Yeah, I can also Venmo you for half of what you ordered or something.
All right, yeah, sure. Maybe you can send the first one.
So what year is this?
We're both Canadians.
Or where are you from?
I'm from Austin. We're actually from Austin.
Where'd you go to high school?
Lhasa.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Yeah. What's funny is, did you go to Lhasa when it was at LBJ
Yeah,
or
we went to
Johnston?
LBJ.
I went to Johnston in high school. Back when it was Johnston.
Oh.
Way back.
Wait, what was before it was LBJ?
No. LBJ is LBJ, but where Lhasa is now.
Oh, right.
Oh, I forgot they have a huge.
I've only been to that campus once.
Yeah. Tell me the 10
Oh,
minutes.
yeah.
Oh.
It's okay. Most people did tonight. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Bye. How's it going so far?
It's going really well. We're getting jobs. There we go. Thank you. You too.
Alright, thank you so much. Alright. Yeah, we did.
Okay.
They were basically the same.
Yeah.
I know you responded to Logan's.
Oh yeah.
No, I don't care. We don't need to. I mean, the response. The threads are kind of more for them. And
Yeah, they kind of having us do it because at the end they want to.
They just want to grade it all in one go because it's all being one thread.
And it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, they're basically going to be like. Yeah. Oh, is it raining? It looks really wet.
Yeah. Okay, cool. No, I didn't know that you had pizza.
Yeah, we
Oh
have
yeah,
to
we have to do the weekly update.
So I guess, yeah,
It's actually kind of good.
I think it keeps us organized and like.
It's also nice to be like a bunch of fit stuff because you probably come up and kind of forget what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I write every Monday.
Oh, yeah. It's gotta be more stressful. I mean, we're just sending for ourselves. It's to investors. I mean, they're probably expensive.
I mean, yes.
standing room only would just be standing. And so, oh, no, yeah. So 150 is basically like a bunch of little chairs. Yeah. Like little black. Yeah. A little black chair. But you know, it'd be like what we'll set up. Yeah, I know it's frustrating. It's like already. Well, I think from my viewpoint, if we're trying to build a community, where we can just get it. And like people like me, like I can't do it. So if it came back full, I could do that and something else. Yes, we might do it. So I think we just kind of say one thing I did that's different in the past is RSVP or people that we made had ability to for this. It used to just be that. It was used to be. And what would happen is we would get 20 or 30 people signing up on the app, and then they don't show up. So that was killing the availability. That was causing the effective rate to grow. Because it's a small delta from usually the month before, right? So like if this one got bigger and bigger, like Fiesta, which is 200 plus people, it overflows into one whole thing. I have friends that are firefighters, and they told me you can't do shit. So that's why I haven't been doing it. It just gets to be a certain amount after forgiveness. So if we get to this one here, then we outgrow this. I'm not sure what we do. I mean, we outgrow this one as a keep running paper for we'll deal with that. Then there's like public library and other things. But this is just, if we get this thing in the theater, and then that essentially unveils the same time soon. So you're saying like if we go to the theater based on theater, you're saying it's like completely lifting like put in like 2 people. And if you go to the point where it's like for startup calls, it's just like you can't even walk through these people out there. You have to remember so yeah, I need to explicitly be told this because I'm like, no, I don't want to break fire department rules. So I've been we give customers we did. So now what I'm going to do is have like a formal set of slides that surround the real presentation. So like parking, rules, like what's going on. And then I activated Slido. Okay. So what I'm going to do is let people do it the old way and the new way. Just raise your hand, or if you want, you can post it on here so you don't forget. And then I'll just have my phone. I mean, these things project. I mean, there's like multiple. I don't know if you can put. I'm sure we use it on Slido. So the way I'm going to do Slido is I'm open it here, and I'll have the feed, and then I will interrupt the speaker and be like, hey, just because I want to also filter the questions, because it might just be like not. Well, we just need to make sure they see the code number. Yeah. Yeah, that 15 minutes will be here. I know it's opportunity to bring it. And I think, hey, you sell a product for life. It's a paper. That's awesome. It doesn't be perfect. It's part of the charm of the whole thing. And it's just like, hey guys, I need your help or something else. And of course, it's so this will, they can I'll just like interrupt the speaker and be like, hey, so what happened? Yep. I don't want the stuff to be noisy. Then for the presentation, of course, then I'll say, hey, you can do and then I'll put a screenshot, and then I'll be like, hey, Hey, oh, good. Good. Mr. Speaker. Changing the slides last minute.
I'm gonna do things a little or differently than I used to. I know.
Never mind. We're good. Thank you.
You were going to be the first person in our
Oh, cool. Famous / infamous. Yeah, there we go. There we go. I'll be back in a minute.
It'll be as famous or infamous as
There we go. There we go.
That's how it's going to work. If you update your slides,
Touch my old slides.